I purchased a car, and I'm sure I didn't pay over $25 for the race car. And it was a green car, which isn't supposed to be the luckiest, and it had the number on it was number 13. Number 13 was an easy fix. The number 1 was easily turned into a 7, and the 3 easily turned into a 78. So there we go. That's the story behind it. So I bought a '69 Oldsmobile, and back then it was really crude what you had to do to it to turn it into a spectator. I mean, it's nothing like today. Basically, all I had is a 2-point roll bar in it. And that is basically about it, with angle braces down to it. Just knock the glass out of it and let it go.
You get through cross, you get the checkered flag for the first time. What's the feeling?
Boy, that's a tough question there. I guess I really don't know. It's just your adrenaline is just pumping so high, but as you're racing, you don't have time to think about it.
Right.
But I mean, even to this day, sitting in the race car waiting to go out for a race, I could actually go to sleep. I mean, I'm just so relaxed, and I just don't get pumped up like that. But as soon as I'm on the racetrack, it's like you can flick a switch, and it's just an awesome feeling crossing under that checkered flag, being first. Here again, I had this big brainstorm. I thought I was ready to go to late model class. Well, I put the car together, and I ran it maybe a half a year with absolutely no success at all. And it was just horrible. So therefore, I mean, I wasn't ready for the late model class. And so what I did, halfway through, I had come out of the sportsman class, which was still functional. So I just pulled the front fenders off and downclassed it, and so I ran that car as a sportsman. So there's two classes for me. The next couple years, I was able to work on the very same car to make it more like a sportsman. There was more engine setback you could do to it. And so I ran it, I believe, 2 more years. And then Fritz Siemens at that time owned Stateline Erie's, and they eliminated the sportsman class. And here I am again, stuck in a hard place with no race car, basically. But this car wasn't nothing fancy. It wasn't a stub car or nothing. And so Franny sort of bent the rules for me to make this car legal to run it as a limited late. And so, so I pulled the motor back ahead and made everything legal for the limited class, and I had great success in the limited late class with that car. I won more features with that car than I've probably in the limited late class than I have in any other car that I've had.
You're Rookie of the Year in 1990, and actually won some championships. Some highlights that you found that you look back today and say these are 2 or 3 races that were just really surprises, aside from the one you just talked about, which was amazing.
Yeah, I'm sure if any race car driver thinks back, there are always those instances. I've been fortunate to be able to win on a regular basis. I think this is my 36th year of racing, and yeah, 36. And there's probably not more than 5 or 6 years in my whole career that I went a year without winning a feature. So I'm pretty proud to be able to say that. But by far my biggest late model race to this date is winning a 100-lap race at the Stateline Speedway. It's a Bobby Snars, it's a Skip Furlow, it's a Ron Blackmer. It always, those names constantly pop up as the people that were fan favorites and you just enjoyed watching. I got to know Fritz. He was one of the earliest sponsors that I ever obtained for my race car. He was a self-made man. He started out, of course everybody knows his livelihood, but basically everything started from Siemens Auto Wrecking. The personalities clicked. that's hard to say about Franny because he was his own man, but I mean, he took a liking to me for some reason. And he's by far my longest running sponsor, and I can never say enough about the man. So Franny is probably very, very responsible for my racing career also. Throughout the years, he's been basically everything as far as sponsor-wise that he has owned or attributed to has been on my cars. Jennifer has been kind enough to continue the relationship, I guess, that Franny has started. So whether the big guy knows it or not, he is still sponsoring me. So I was injured Little Valley, it was on the front stretch, where the sun was very blinding. And I got tangled up and got turned around, and I was setting sideways in the middle of the racetrack about 3/4 of the way down, where unfortunately the speeds of the race cars are at the very maximum. And with the blinding sunlight coming into the guys that were coming toward me, I guess the visibility was very, very little, and I was hit right in the driver's door. I was star flighted from there to ECMC in Buffalo. I was knocked out. I don't think I've ever been knocked out in my life. That was the first time. I remember coming to, and the workers were there, and they asked me if I could take my helmet off. And I think I started to take my helmet off, and then I blacked out again. Then I think I come back to again twice more, but the one time I heard them say, the workers say, we're going to have to cut the car apart to get them out. And I spoke, you're not going to cut this car apart. And then I blacked out again, you know. But I'm very, very fortunate to say that there is no lasting effects or anything, you know, that recovery that I wasn't able to overcome.
Do you agree?
A little brain damage.
Yeah, there must have been some brain damage because that following spring I was back in the race car again. 3 cars. I can't pick out of 3 cars. One was a 2000 Viper, which I was really, really successful with in 2001. I mean, I don't like I said, I don't keep records, but I mean, I dominated, you know, with that car. A lot of wins. I mean, I had state line points and circuit points won even before the last night of double points even. I just dominated. That car just worked very, very well. Another car is that 99 GRT that I was talking about that burned up in my garage fire. That was getting to, I'm very confident that that car was going to be on the same level. Well, that was before the Viper anyways. The third car is the one I just retired last year. I ran it. It was an 03 back to an 03 Swartz car, and something about it. It was an old car when I got it. It just went. You know, I mean, you didn't have to caress it or no tender loving care. I mean, it just wanted to go. So, but those 3 were really good race cars. I have had a successful racing career, and I have done it with less than a lot of people have, and I have still been fortunate to beat them. You know, I feel really good through my whole career. Unfortunately, I've been in the position to have to do this, but it's been successful, so I feel good about it.
Stand by the front corner. You'll see it.
Get that one on top right there.
Yeah, look, there you go. DNS glass, you know?
We may try a couple of different things here.
This is good. Access is very good.